I think you've done an amazing job because you totally reframed what a water brand can be, right? Because if you took your management consultants that you talked about just before there, right, they'd come in and said, well, the ways to win in water are provenance, you need to clarity, clear bottles, purity, they'd have come up with something like that, wouldn't they? They'd have been, these are the rules, you literally ripped that up and went the complete opposite direction and even called your brand something that, like, on the face of it makes absolutely no sense. So explain to me how you come up with the name and why it's positioned so differently to water.
Well, I think that's interesting. That there's a guy that I met through one of our early investors. So my first agency that I worked at was called Crispin Porter and Bogusky in Colorado. Really disruptive, cool marketing run by this guy, Alex Bogusky. He was early advisor for me in Liquid Death, had created tons of interesting businesses and was very successful. And a friend of his was this guy named John Bielenberg, who wrote this book called Think Wrong. I had not read the book when I met the guy, but when he saw Liquid Death, he really connected because it was kind of the epitome of what his book was about. And even though I never thought about it directly that way, when he explained to me what his kind of point of view was, it made perfect sense, which was most people, and just our brains in general, are wired to replicate what has already worked in the past. It's like a survival mechanism. Like, your brain is designed to find shortcuts. Like, when you're driving, you're not really paying attention to every sign, everything. Your brain is kind of filling in gaps so you can autopilot. So when people start thinking of things, they go to, okay, what has worked in the past? What's working now? Let's make something like that. So most new things are really just copies of existing things. And if you really want to get to truly unique or innovative, you really have to trick your brain and try to think of a bad idea or a dumb idea. Then your brain is now tricked into thinking about things that don't exist, because why would anyone do a bad idea? Why would anyone do a dumb idea? And then those ideas you get to start to be truly unique. Now, not all of them are good, but you'd be surprised that a larger percentage than you think are not dumb, actually. And when you really start breaking it down, you're like, actually, this might be genius. And I think that's probably, whether I realized the process or not, that's how I was thinking about a lot of marketing and branding. And of course, Liquid Death. When you think about, hey, okay, I'm going to make a water brand. It's okay, what's the opposite of what the water industry is doing? What would that look like? Let's just go down that road for a minute. What's the opposite of it? Or what's the dumbest, worst name that anybody could imagine being on a water? I think that's how you start getting to truly innovative. Because again, someone says, I forget who said this. Oh, I think it was Reid Hoffman. Yeah. He said that truly innovative ideas almost have to be laughable at first. Because if something makes a ton of sense the minute you tell it to someone, it means there's probably 4 other companies who have already been working on it for 4 years, because it's too obvious. If you instantly think it's smart, it's probably too obvious. It's the things that are like, I always use the analogy of Uber or Airbnb. It's like the minute someone had the idea of, I think regular people should become taxi drivers with drunk, puking people in the back of their cars. No one is saying, oh, that's a brilliant idea. No, that's the worst idea. No one's going to do that. Or, oh, how about you rent out your house to perfect strangers when you're gone? That is the dumbest idea. No one is ever going to do that. And of course, they become some of the biggest businesses in the world.